To our Terrell Fournet. He's at a gas station now that's out of fuel. We've heard that so much here in South Florida. No luck for a lot of people who showed up there to try to gas up, huh, Terrell?
Yeah, Calvin and Lori, just like that fuel is gone. It went a lot quicker than the managers at this mobile station thought it would. They thought they would have enough supply to last until this evening, but take a look. All of the pumps now are wrapped, and the people that are showing up here looking for fuel, they will not be able to get it. This is at Southwest 304th Street and Krome Avenue here in Homestead. When we last spoke, there were long lines of people waiting to get fuel because this was a gas station that received about 9,000 gallons of fuel just this morning. There were 20 cars on this side, just as many on the other side. But again, this gas station is now out of fuel. A big disappointment for people who waited in line for a long time to get fuel, and we actually spoke with one of the last people to actually top off their tanks here this afternoon.
Yeah, you have to have patience, find the right place, and you'll find fuel.
And it worked out for you?
Yeah, she was not going to let me have fuel, but she decided she would. That's how that went.
Okay. And did you have an empty tank, or did you have a full tank, or what?
Actually, I was down to half a tank, but I have no fuel for my generator, so I filled 2 cans.
And that is the situation here in Homestead as well, Florida City. We drove up from Marathon in the Florida Keys, and for 2 hours we did not encounter a single station that was open or had fuel until at least we got to Florida City. But the station that we filled up at for our news vehicle, it was a Shell station, and we were one of the last people to fill up our vehicle. But again, this station that had fuel is now out of fuel. It's unclear where the nearest station is that actually has fuel, but when you hear about these places that do have gas, it's best not to wait. Get there as quickly as possible, and of course as safely as possible, to fill up your tanks if you still need fuel, because the stations that do have it, it appears that they don't have it for very long. This particular station closed until Irma passes. It is not expecting any more deliveries at this station, but we also note that those fuel tankers are still out on the roads as weather permits, even under the escort of law enforcement officers delivering to fuel stations, to gas stations here across South Florida. So if you find it, basically get there quickly. If we hear of any gas stations here in this area that have fuel, we'll certainly let you know.
And Terrell, we're just hearing that big stores such as Target are pretty much all closed right now, all the way from Aventura and Kendall up through Davie, Plantation, Miramar. So big stores have closed. Are you seeing many smaller stores open in the Homestead area?
Yes, that's actually a very good question, because while we were driving through Homestead, just trying to look for any signs of life, any activity, any people, perhaps out and about preparing, a lot of the corner stores in these communities are still open. So people who are looking for the most basic of items may be able to head to those corner stores. And there's actually a grocery store that's across the street over here, the Tropical Supermarket here at Krome Avenue and Southwest 304th Street. It is still open, so people are still walking in and out to get those supplies. They still have bread, they still have eggs, and they still have a lot of canned foods, although they are out of bottled water. The only types of water that they have are your Perrier's, your bottled water, your carbonated waters at this point. So that is still obviously a sufficient water to sustain yourself for 3 days if you're not able to get the normal bottled waters in the traditional sense. So that's what we're seeing at this grocery store and at other corner stores, smaller stores throughout this area.
All right, good to know. Terrell Fournet and Homestead for us. Thank you.